In one of Alex Ramozi's most recent podcast interviews, he was asked what would he do if he had to start over again with only $1,000. He said he wouldn't even use $1,000 and that he would start with an AI automation agency. More specifically, he would build an AI email agent for businesses because, in his words, it's one of the fastest ways to make a significant amount of money right now. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build the system that Alex was talking about, step by step, so you can launch it for yourself today. But first, let's see exactly what he said in that clip.
I've got 3 boxes here. One of them contains $1,000, one of them contains $10,000, and one of them contains $100,000. And you 3 are the Avengers of entrepreneurship on the internet. So you're going to tell me what you would do with that amount of money to build a scalable business.
So do I get to keep the money? Is that how this works? Yeah. Okay, so I would take the $1,000, put it in my pocket, do nothing with it, and I would watch YouTube videos on AI integration into small businesses, and then I would go to small businesses, and once I had a specific integration that I would do, which I would probably bet would be around likely email list activation, because that's typically like fastest, easiest money that most business owners have is their contact list. So they've got, they've been in business 10 years, they've got 8,000 customers they've sold over that whole time period, and maybe a list of, call it 20,000 leads that they've had. They never email them ever. If they do, it's just like, here's our random discount that we send once a quarter for Christmas or whatever. And I would say, hey, I will email those people and I will get everything approved by you, and don't pay me anything. Just pay me a percentage of the sales that we generate afterwards. How's that sound? And that offer tends to do well. And I know that because I've done it. So that's what I would do. And the $1,000, I would, go buy Layla something for a little bit of time.
Now, what Alex said is exactly what we're building here today, AI email agents. It's what my agency does, and it's what's allowed us to reach 80K per month. And the reason is because most businesses receive more leads than they can actually handle, and they spend thousands on staff wages and employee wages in order for them to follow up. Now, the system we build is going to automatically do that for a fraction of the cost, and most businesses are happy to pay for it. Now, the good thing about this is it works in most industries. It's also very quick to set up, and it solves a problem that every business has. Now, let's get straight into it and show you exactly how we build it. Okay, so take a look over here at the email. So you can see the demo account here, in which the emails will be coming into. So somebody may have asked about this 2022 Toyota Camry, and our AI email agent was able to respond. Hi Folu, thanks for the interest in the Camry. It's available, the price, all of the questions that the person asked. And then it says highlights include leather and heated seats, keyless entry, adaptive cruise control, and a premium sound system. And then it gives the person some photos in which they can click the link to. And then it asks this person, would you like a full feature list, more photos, or a short video walk around? So essentially doing the role of a full sales associate. Then you can see down here, the person says, yes, I would like a full walk around. And it says, hi Folu, here is a walk around video of the Toyota Camry. If you'd like more photos or have any questions about price, warranty, or service history, just reply and I'll come back to you quickly. So you can see here, if we click in here, it's able to generate a video.
Hi Folu, here's the...
So it's able to generate a video like this and do a custom voiceover using AI and 11 Labs. It will create a custom voiceover with this person's name at the start of this video and addressing any concerns or any questions that the person may have actually inside the video. So if we play this now.
Hi Folu, here's the 2022 Toyota Camry, registration 21D 45872. Finished in white, it's a petrol automatic that's composed in town and comfortable on longer runs. It's done about 24,140 kilometres. It's been dealer serviced roughly every 16,000 kilometres, with the last service in 2024 at 17,368 kilometres.
So you can get the general gist. It's able to make that video completely automatically while using AI. And how we do that is exactly what we're going to get into now. So the first kind of software that we need to become familiar with is this over here called make.com. If you don't know how to use make.com, there's hundreds of videos, but in this video I'm going to really stick to the actual the build that we're doing. So you're going to come over here to make.com, select create a new scenario, and we're going to build this scenario here, and this is the scenario that's going to be able to respond back to the emails. Also, it's going to be able to create that walkthrough video that we've just seen previously. Secondly, we need this over here, Airtable. It's essentially Google Sheets. It's just a more clean and formatted version. And this is where we're going to store all of the cars and all of the stock basically. So you can see here we have some templates or some example property, or you can see here we have some example cars. These are all just made up examples. And then over here we have leads, in where we are going to store all of the leads that inquire about any car. And as you can see over here, we'll have the car that they are interested in and the budget, so we can target them in the future if we get new stock. Now I'm going to leave everything that we are building in this video below this right here. So if you come over here to the actual video that you're watching, I'll leave a link in the top of the description where you can just click and you'll be able to download this sheet that we need to make, and also these scenarios that we are building here. So you can essentially have this up and running by the end of this video, and you can start selling to whichever industry you want to start selling this to. Now the first thing we need to build over here is this Airtable sheet, and it's very straightforward. In order to build it, you're just going to come back out here. So you'll download Airtable, or you'll create an Airtable account. You'll sign in and you'll come over here and press create a new sheet or a new dashboard, and then you'll click here to build your own app or your own dashboard. It's essentially just a Google sheet or whatnot. When you come in and when you create a Google sheet, you're going to put in all of the details that the company has. So over here we have registration, we have the make, the model, we have the status, it can be for sale or sold, we have the year, we have price, mileage, color, fuel, transmission, all the general kind of details. We have the condition, the warranty, the features. As you can see in here, we have some features. We have the full description, in which you can see the description of the car. We have some service history, the last service mileage, and then as you can see here, we have the walk around video. Now this walk around video is just going to be about 45 seconds long. As you can see, if we play this, it's 45 seconds long. And then whenever somebody asks for a walk around video, like we seen in the start of this video, in order to create that voiceover, we're going to use this video to the video here that is uploaded, and we're going to create a walkover transcript that goes over that video, that's able to be personalized, as we've seen in the video, saying the person's name and talking specifically about what that person asks in the email. And then over here you can see we have some images of this car, and this is just an attachment field. So you'll come over here to Airtable and you'll create this sheet. Don't worry, again, I'm going to leave it down below so you'll be able to just download it and copy it yourself. And then over here we have a leads sheet, which is a separate sheet, and over here we have the name, number, email, the interested car, and the bought car. And this is all going to be automatically filled in over here on make.com. So all of this again below, so you'll be able to download this. So I'd advise you to download this so you can follow along with this video. And this is essentially what we're going to use whenever somebody asks about a car. So if somebody comes into our email and asks about a Ford F-150, then over here in make.com, it's going to search this car database, and it's going to find the Ford F-150. So now that this Airtable is out of the way, we're going to come over here to make.com, and again you're going to come up here, select create a new scenario, and in this scenario you are going to build this out right here. What this is going to do is essentially it's going to watch for whenever an email comes in. Whenever an email comes in, it's going to trigger this module here to run. When that email comes in, we're going to get the email address of that person, which is this module here, and we're going to get all of the previous emails. So we have the conversation history and the context of the conversation. Then over here we prompt this OpenAI module to find the actual car that this person is asking about. So essentially prompt it to output the reg plate of the car. With that reg plate, we're going to search Airtable, and then here is going to decide if we want to just generate a normal reply via email, or this route down here is where we are going to generate the walk around videos in which we create a voiceover for. So in order to build this, we're going to firstly start over here with the watch emails module, and you're going to get that by coming down here. You're going to search up emails, and in this email you're going to click in here and try and find the get emails, and that's essentially our first module created. Now in order to connect to this module, you're going to have to come up here and you're going to have to select a connection type. Just come over here and select Google restricted, and when you press save, it's going to prompt you to sign in. So if you can see over here, it's going to give us the option to sign in, and when we try to sign in, then it has connection to our email account. And for this one, we are going to use the demo email account that we have. So I'm going to come in here, find the demo account, and this is where we're going to get the emails from. Now in here in the folder, we're going to select all emails. So you can see here we have all mail, and then that's basically all we need. So any email that comes in here now is going to trigger this module, and this module is going to run through this scenario. So I'm going to click save. Firstly, we come in here to criteria, select all emails, and click save, and that's the first module done. The second module, as you can see up here, we have a get email. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to again look up for that emails module, and I'm going to select the get emails. Now in this get email module, we're going to select the same account, and in this account we are going to again search for a folder which is going to be all emails, keep everything else the same, criteria, all emails, and we're going to want to find all of the emails where the sender email address equals the email that we just received. So as you can see over here, we have this module, and this is going to trigger whenever somebody sends an email. So we're going to look for the sender email address over here, and we're going to select that in here. So whenever the sender email address equals the message that we just received, then this is going to output all of the emails from that person. So if I come in here and I run a quick test and I just put in my own email, this should now output all of the emails that it has with me. Now I'm going to select this, and I'm going to come in here and select the maximum number of results to 10. So we basically get the last 10 emails sent by this person. So we have the conversation context. So now if I come in here and again I put in my own email, this is going to output the last 10 emails. So you can see here we have bundle 1, bundle 2, bundle 3, bundle 4, bundle 5. We have 10 bundles, and each of these bundles will be an email. So you can see here we have the text content of that email, and now we have the conversation context. Now because all of these come as separate bundles, we need to select this text aggregator, and this is going to aggregate all of them last 10 emails and output just one basically block of text. So we're going to come over here and we are going to search for text aggregator. It's going to be in the tools section, so we're going to select text aggregator, and the source module is just going to be the last email module, so this one. And the text that we want to aggregate, if we look up here, we want to aggregate the date, the subject, and the text content. So we're going to come down here, and in here we are going to want to aggregate the date, the subject, and the text content, and I'm going to throw these in brackets so it's easier to identify when it bundles them all together. So I'll select that, I'll come down here into the advanced settings, and we will select this as a new row. So each email is going to be on a new row. So now if we quickly run this, if I just get rid of this first one and we come over here and I just put in my own email, we can do a quick test to see what this looks like. So I will put in my own email, I'll click save, and if I just run this, run anyway, we'll be able to see what this text aggregator outputs. So you can see here we get the bundle of the 10 emails that of the last 10 emails that were sent, and then this text aggregator will output them all as just one block of text, so we can feed it into the AI so it now has access to the context of the situation or the context of the emails. So we'll fix this back up, we'll put back in the variable of the person. So I'll change this back to the sender's email address, and now we're ready to go. So that's the first 3 modules done, and as you can see just how quick we are getting through this. Now the next module we're going to use is an OpenAI module. So I'm just going to clone this as we already have it built, and if we go in here, this is how we are going to know which car this person is talking about. So if somebody sends an email over and they say I'm looking at the let's say I'm looking at the white Toyota Camry, then we're going to need a registration of that vehicle, so we know which specific vehicle they are talking about. As we could have, 5 or 10, or any business could have 5 or 10 different Toyota Camrys in their database. So we want them to give us the registration of the vehicle they're talking about, so we know exactly which vehicle to get the information from. So what we say in this prompt is extract the vehicle registration number from the email text below and format it to match our database style exactly. Database format examples, we give it examples of how it looks in the database. We can check the database to see if that's correct. As you can see here, it is correct. This is exactly how we have them in the database. And then we can come back over here. We say the formatting rules. We say always use uppercase letters. We basically just tell it exactly how to format it from the email. And then we say if no valid registration is found, then output exactly the words no reg. And you'll see why we do this later. And then we say output only formatted registration or no reg, nothing else. And then we give it the email text, and here is the previous email threads. Now, the email text we want to give it is the current email that this person is sending. So if we come over here, we can see we have the first module, which is this one here. And we are saying to this, here is the email that this person just sent, and we're going to give it the text content of that email. And then down here, we give it the conversation context, which is the last 10 emails combined. And you can see we can just put in that text right here. So we'll click save on that, and now this should be able to output either the reg that this person is asking about, so the registration number, or it's going to output no reg. Now the next module we're going to use is an Airtable module, and this module we're going to search records. So this module is going to search whenever we find a reg. It's going to search our database to find that specific reg in the database, so we can get more information on that car. So as you can see over here, this database is called car dealership Airtable YT. So I'm going to come back over here to make that com. After you've connected your Airtable via API key, then you can come in here and you can search for the database that you've just created. Mine is right there, car dealership. Now in this car dealership, we are going to look at the car details, because that's the page where all of the details of the cars are on. And then in here, we're going to select the output fields to just output all of the fields that we have. And then for the formula, we are going to say whenever registration exactly formatted how I'm writing it now, equals whatever ChatGPT outputs, then we are going to we're going to get them details. So we should only ever have one. So you can see here, this is the limit, the maximum number of records of return. We should only ever have one, so I'm going to select one here. And what we are saying over here to Airtable is search the records, and whenever you find a registration that equals the registration from the email, then give us all of the details on that. So if I do a quick test on this, if I come over here, we can do a test on this Honda. So I'm going to get this registration. I'm going to come over here to make.com, and I'm going to put in the registration. And now this should output all of the details on that Honda Civic. So now we can use it later in the workflow to respond to this person. Now the next module we have again is another OpenAI module. So I'm going to clone this again. And this module is essentially going to decide if we are just normally responding back to the email, or if we are creating that walk around video for this person. So you can see here, the prompt for this module is, you are a routing classifier for a car dealership workflow. The inputs here is the current email and the email history, like we've already spoke about. And the task is to decide the next step of the flow by outputting exactly one word. It's either walk around or email. Now it's going to output walk around if and only if the customer has clearly asked for or accepted a custom walk around video. And then it's going to output email in all other cases, including requests for photos, images, specs, prices, etc. And then we just tell it down here, strictly output only one of the words. And then we have some decision rules here. If the current email or recent history shows customer explicitly asking for a video, then output the actual walk around. And then we can see here we have accepting a previously offered walk around video. Yes, please to the video, send me the walk around. Then it's going to know exactly when to send the walk around video or output the word walk around. And then we have here otherwise, just for everything else, just output email. And that's what the purpose of this is. So you can see down here we have some other prompt stuff. Again, just download it below and read through it in your spare time. But you get the general idea. Now, the idea of this is to basically be a filter in Word. So if the person asks about maybe, hey, can I take this for a test drive? Then it's going to output email, and it's going to choose this route up here, because as you can see here, we have a router module, and this router module will go up here. If the result from this equals email, then it's going to go up here and just send a normal response. Or if the result equals walk around, then it's going to come down here. It's going to create the transcript and create that video for that person. So the next module we're going to need to create this workflow or finish off this workflow is we are going to need a router module. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to come up here to where you can see router. And now on this router module, we're going to click in here so we can actually filter out the decision flow or the decision logic. And then in here, we're going to select whenever the result from the previous OpenAI module, and we'll come down here, choose case insensitive. So whenever it equals case insensitive, so it doesn't matter if it's uppercase or lowercase, whenever it equals email, then choose this flow. And then we'll come down here and we'll choose whenever the result contains case insensitive walk around, then it's going to choose this flow. So now we have the decision logic done, and then up here we are basically going to create the responses. So over here, I'll just paste this in here so we can quickly run through this. Now, whenever it outputs email, it's going to come up here, and the first thing we needed to do is, as you can see here, we have a prompt, and this prompt is essentially saying, you are an email responder for a car dealership. You reply to customer emails about a single match vehicle using the inputs below. You write only clean, simple HTML. The reason we do it in HTML is because when you are sending an email from make.com, it requires to be in HTML. Don't ask me why, it just is, so that's why we include it in the prompt. And then we say here is some inputs, the variables, and we say here is the customer's email. So the current email they are sending being basically the first email that comes in from this module here. So whenever this is triggered, we're going to use that email as the current email. And we'll come up here and we will search for text content, and we'll select that. So this is the current customer's email. And then we'll say here is the email history, which we get from the text aggregator, and we will include that one there. And then we say here is the vehicle that they are asking about. So as you've seen previously, we search, so we tell the OpenAI output the registration, and then we search for the email. We tell the OpenAI output the registration, and then here in the Airtable module, we output the details of that car. So you can see here it gives us all the details from the database on that car, and that's where we are going to include in here. So in here we're going to look for the Airtable module. So you can see here we have the Airtable module, and we're just going to include all of the details. So you can see here we have registration, we'll put that in beside registration. We have make, we'll put that in beside make. Model, we'll put that in, and so on. So you get the general idea. And for status here, you can see we have the status equals for sale or sold, and then we put in all of the other details. We put in all of the other details that we get back from Airtable. Now we say down here, your primary goal is to reply politely and helpfully to the customer's current questions about this vehicle. Use a natural human tone. Handle multi-intent questions at once in one coherent reply. Do not dump specs unless specifically requested. And then here in the rest of the prompt, we basically give it how to output the actual answer, or how to output the actual email. You can see here we have some critical output format. Only use clean HTML body. We give it some other details. Always greet the user by name, and then we will include the user's name, which appears in the actual email, or you can just use the variable which the email module will output. So you can see here we have sender name, We'll include that here, greet the user by name, or otherwise use hi there. We also say here, decision flow, follow in order, parse the conversation context. So read the conversation context, read the newest to oldest, extract only relevant info, and then we give it some ideas on how to handle this processing. And then we say over here, identify intents in the current email. So that being the most important is actually answering the questions in the current email. There's no point in reading through the previous context and answering questions that have already been answered. Then we have some vehicle status logic. So if it's for sale, then answer normally. If the status is sold, then clearly state that this car is sold. Then for test driving, we answer this question only if the customer asks about it. And then we say, if they ask, invite 2 times that suit and a best phone number. So basically give them 2 times that suit them and ask them for their phone number. And then you can see here we have custom walk around video, which is a new feature. And we say the purpose of this is to offer a personalized walk around video. We tell it when to offer this. And we say if the customer explicitly asks for a walk around video or detailed visuals, or if they show high intent or deep interest. So we don't want to be sending a walk around video to everybody, because most people will not actually buy this car. So we want to keep it for people that ask for like more videos, or they show high interest, because obviously there's an extra cost to making these personalized videos. And then we go through some other prompting stuff, which again, just read below. You'll be able to find it below. I'll actually get rid of this because we don't really need this, only if you want to send images, which I don't think is necessary. Then you can see down here we spec list. So read through the rest of this prompt in your free time. I'll just quickly go through this last bit here where we give it examples. So we give it examples of the HTML to write, so how to actually respond to people, which is good. So you have the full prompt here in which you can use, and you'll be able to essentially get this up and running straight away. Then the next module over here that we have is the actual send email module. And in this send email module, in order to get that, just again come down here and find the send email. As you can see here, email, going to email, find send email, and then you have that module. And in this send email module, we have a couple of variables. So we have the email address to send it to, as you can see here, to, and we're just going to send it back to the person that sent that initial email. So you'll come down here, find the sender, and output the sender email address in here. So we're going to send this email back to the sender. And then for the subject, we are just going to put in, we're going to call it model. So we're basically, it's going to come out as Honda space Civic inquiry. So that's what's going to be in the email. If we quickly come over here, you can see the email, and this is Toyota Camry inquiry. And then over here we have content type as HTML, and the actual content of the email is going to come from this ChatGPT module. So that's that basically done, and now this is basically ready to answer all of them general inquiries that come in via email. It's going to come in, find the conversation context, it's going to route it, and then it's going to send the email back. Okay, so for the next module over here, after we've sent the email, we have a search records module in Airtable, and this is going to search the leads database. So as you can see over here, we have this first sheet, which is the car details. Then we have the second sheet, which is the actual lead. So this is where we're going to store all of the leads. So what this module is going to do is, again, you're going to come down here, find Airtable, and get the search records, so this one here. And what this module is going to do is we are going to search this car dealership leads table, and if the email in the actual table is equal to the same email that we are sending the email to, then we are going to stop it there. So we are going to select this and say if the total number of bundles is, come down and find greater than 0, or total number of bundles is equal to 0, then it's going to pass through. And the reason we have this is because we're going to want to store these leads, but we don't want to store a lead that's already in the database. So this is going to it's going to search a database. So whenever it finds an email in the database, which is the same as the email that we are sending the actual reply to, then it's going to stop here. But whenever it equals 0, so whenever the total number of bundles equals 0, basically meaning whenever this returns nothing, or it doesn't find an email address, then we're going to add this person into the leads database. So what this is going to do is we're going to select a create a record, again down here in Airtable, and we are going to fill in that record with the details that we have on this person. So we have their name, in which we get from the email module, the first email module, and it's going to be the sender name down here. Number we don't have yet. For the email, we have their email because we have the sender email address. We have the car that they are interested in because we searched Airtable for the car that they are interested in. And we also have a rough budget because we have the price of the car that they are inquiring about. So we're going to select that as a rough budget. And that's how you store all of these leads, like what Alex Ramoz was saying in that podcast clip at the start of this video. And that's a vast majority of this whole system done. So you're going to be able to download this below. So the majority of this building you won't actually have to do, or this development that I'm doing now you won't actually have to do, but you get the general idea of how this is running. And this is really good because this is game changing, as we spoke about before. This is game changer for a lot of businesses. What we need to do now is we need to create this flow down here, which is going to create the walk around video. Now, in order to do that, first thing we need is again another OpenAI module. And in this OpenAI module, we have a prompt here, and we say to this prompt, you are creating a voiceover transcript for a 45-second long walk around video of a car. And then we say you will be giving the customer's first name and the vehicle details. And we say you will be giving the details in this format. I'm not going to read through this whole prompt because you're going to have access to it, so you can do it in your free time. But we basically tell it how to output the voiceover text. We give it an example here. So we say, here's an example output style. And this is basically what it's going to look like. So it's going to be like, hi Folu, here is the 2022 Toyota Camry you asked about. Go into some details. And it's going to try and keep it within the same length of the videos that we create. So if I was to give this now to a car dealership, I would tell them whenever you are uploading a new car into this database, then whenever you're creating a walk around video, keep them around 40 to 45 seconds long. And the reason we do that is because when this is output in the voiceover text, we don't want a full story voiceover, because then when it creates the 11 Labs voiceover, it's going to be too long for the actual video, so it's just going to get abruptly cut off. So we want to make sure that the voiceover is the same length of the actual video. And that's why we say up here, you're creating a voiceover transcript for a 45-second long walk around video. Then we give it again all of the details from the car that the person is asking about, which we get from the database, the Airtable database over here. And then we give it the person's name, which again we get from down here, the sender's name. And then when it creates that transcript, we're going to pass it over here to 11 Labs. So come down here, search in 11 Labs, and in here you are going to create a speech synthesis. Up here you're going to have to connect your 11 Labs account. So you'll click add here. It's going to ask you for an API key. Come over here, search up 11 Labs, create an account, and then create an API key. It's very straightforward. There's hundreds of videos you can go and watch on that. I've actually made a video before on how to connect to it, but find out how to connect to it with the API. Very straightforward. And then down here you are going to select the voice. We're going to select this Galway man, which is an Irish accent, because that's who we would potentially sell this to. For the model, we are going to select 11 Labs Flash 2.5. And then for the text that we want to create the speech for, we're just going to select the output from the previous OpenAI module. So this is going to output the voiceover text, and this is actually going to create the audio for that text. The output format, we just select the first one here, being MP3, and that's basically this one done. So we can click save on this now, And now the next two modules we need is a Google upload a file and a Google get a share link. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to search for Google Drive. I'm going to get the upload a file module. And after you've connected that by just signing into Google, we're going to upload this file. This should be automatically pop up after you have this module in. So you'll be able to just select this, click save. For this folder ID over here, this is basically just where you want the audio to save to in your Google Drive. I'm just going to save it to a random folder. Let's just say content folder. We'll click save. Now that audio that 11 Labs creates is going to save it to the folder. And then over here, we're going to get a share link for that audio. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to find a get share link in Google Drive. So you can see here, get a share link. We want to get the share link for a file, which is, you can see here, ask for file ID. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to select file ID from the previous module. There's a couple of things that we want to change in the settings over here. So after we get that file link, we want to select the type as anyone, so anybody can access this audio. And the reason we do this is for the next two modules over here. So I'm going to select save on that. Then we're nearly done. So we can actually give this a quick test to see what the audio looks like. So if I come over here to one of our test runs, if you want to give this a test to see what it looks like, you can see down here, it comes down here. OpenAI will create that voiceover transcript. So you can see here, hi Follow, here's the 2022 Toyota Camry. Then 11 Labs is going to output this data, which is essentially the voiceover. And that's the reason why we have to upload it to Google Drive, so we can actually hear the audio. Then you can see we upload it to Google Drive. Google Drive will get this share link. And if we go to this share link right here, then we'll be able to hear the voiceover
Hi Follow,
audio.
here's
So
the 2022 Toyota Camry.
so we can, okay, so we have that voiceover audio. What we need to do is we need to add that to the video that we have. So to the walk around video, we need to add this voiceover audio on top of that. Okay, so now that we know we have the actual audio and we have that Google Drive share link to that audio, we need to add that on top of the video. And how we do that is we go over here and we find a module like this called JSON to video. So we're going to come down here to the add section and we're going to look up JSON to video. I'm going to select this one and I'm going to come down here. As you can see over here, we have to find the one that says concat a list of videos with background audio. So we'll go to this JSON to video and we'll say concat a list of videos with background audio. We'll put that in here. And it's very straightforward. So probably the hardest part about connecting this is probably creating your account. But after that, then we just select the output resolution as horizontal. The background audio is going to be the share link that we get from Google Drive. So that's the whole reason why we are getting a share link, so we can add it into this JSON to video. So I'm going to come over here and select that as the audio. And then for the videos, we're going to select the output from the Airtable module. So Airtable has the file inside it. And as you can see down here, we have the walk around video. And we're just going to come down here and we're going to select the URL from that walk around video. And that's going to be the video that we are using. That's everything we need. We'll select the volume as medium. Fade out, we can leave that all the same. And we can click save. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to select the watch or wait for a movie to render. So we're going to come down here into the JSON to video, wait for a movie to render. For the project ID, we're just going to put in the previous module, the JSON to video module, and we're going to select project there. And that's basically everything done. Now in order to connect to JSON to video, as you can see in here, like every other module, you have the add button over here, and when you click add, it asks you for an API key. Now it's very simple. Just come over here called JSON and find the app that we're using, JSON to video. And when you search that up, you can see here, or even right there, you can see it says get your free API key. So when you press this get your free API key, it's going to ask you for your email, in which you put in your email, ask it to send it to me, and then it's going to send you the API key. You just come back over here and you put it into make.com and boom, you're connected. So you're ready to go after that. You'll just put your API key that they email you. you'll put that in here and you're ready to go. Now the next module we have, just before we finish off, is another OpenAI module, and this is basically again just formatting the email in HTML and telling AI exactly how to write the email. So I'm going to come down here with the module that we have created, and we are going to, you can see in here basically just the overview of the prompt is we say, role, you are an AI that writes short follow-up emails for a car dealership after a 45-second walk-around video has been generated from them. We give it the input, so we say the email history and the email thread, again, we get from the text aggregator down here. We'll just put in this one. For the walk-around, we get the actual walk-around URL. So in this module here, the one we have as wait for the movie to render, we will get the URL to that generated video. And then we have the voiceover transcript. We just give that to the email just so it has a little bit more context of what the video has inside it. So we'll give it the result from OpenAI, which is the voiceover transcript. Then again, you see we have the vehicle stats and all of the details about it, which we get from OpenAI, or which we get again from Airtable. And then over here we have the critical output format, which is basically telling this prompt to output as HTML. We have the user's name, which you can get again like I showed you before. We have the behavior rules and all of them examples here as well. Again, read through this in your spare time. And then lastly, we have the send a email module, which I'll clone again, bring it down here. And in the send an email module, we have the user's email address, which you get from the bottom here, sender's email address. We have the subject, which, because this, when we're sending a walk around video, it's most likely not going to be the first video or the first email between them. We're just going to use the same subject as we receive. So this is going to be the subject of the email that we receive, and we're just going to create that in this new email as the same subject as the one we receive. And then for the email content, we are just going to put in here whatever OpenAI outputs. So we can click save on this, click save, and now this module is ready to go. So we can test this out right now. So I'll just bring it up here to the one that's already created. I will click run once, and now if I come over here to this email account, okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to send an email over to that demo account, and I'm going to say in the subject Toyota Camry, and I'm going to act as the customer, and I'm going to say I'm interested in the Camry with the reg plate. We will go over and get the reg plate of the Camry, which is this one here, should be. Yeah, so we'll get this Toyota Camry. We'll use this reg plate to send over the email. So we'll include that reg here. So I'll include that reg over here. Now, when I click send, I send that. We can come over here to my.com, and this should be waiting to receive that email. So you can see here it received the email. So I'm going to choose where to start so we can speed up this process a little bit. So I'll come in here, left click this, I'll right click this, choose select the first email, and we'll just select the email that we just sent. And now if I run this, we will be able to see it go through the full process. So you can see now going through the process, it got all of the previous emails sent. Then you can see this OpenAI module outputted the registration that we are asking about. Then you can see this Airtable module will return all of the details on that car with that registration. So you can see here we have all of the Toyota Camry details. And now this module up here outputs email because the person hasn't asked for a walk around video. So it's just going to generate the email. Now you can see OpenAI over here is generating the email text or the HTML to send, and then this is going to send the actual email, and it should store me over here in the database for the lead. So if we jump back over here, you can see we have any lead in here is finishes, and it stores me in the database. Then I should be a new lead inside that database. So we'll wait for this to finish. Okay, so now that the scenario has finished running, if we come over here, you can see there's a new lead in the database and it has all of the details about that person. And if we come over here to the email that we just sent, we should have a response back from the demo. And as you can see, it says, "Hi Follow, thanks for your interest in the Toyota Camry. Yeah, it's available. It's a 2022 model in white, petrol automatic with 15,000 miles. Price is 28,500 and it has 24 months of warranty remaining." Gives me the image of the actual car, and then it says, "Would you like a concise feature list or any specific details as a service history or finance options?" I'm going to reply back with saying, "Can you send me a walk around video?" And then when we send that off, this module should now know that this person is asking for a walk around video, and it should choose option number 2. Okay, so after we send the email asking for a walk around video, it's going to trigger this module. Once we have this whole scenario running, it's going to trigger this module. This module is going to go through the same process. It's going to detect that this person is asking for a walk around video. Then it's going to come down here, and as you can see, OpenAI is going to create that transcript saying hi to the person's name and telling all about the car, making sure it's 45 seconds long. Then we send it over to 11 Labs to create the voiceover, do the process with Google Drive of saving that voiceover, adding it to the video with JSON to video, which is going to add the voiceover to the video, and then OpenAI is going to create that response. And if we come back over here and we press show, then you can see the new email, which sends us that video of the voiceover.
Hi, Follow Lorry. Here's the 2022 Toyota Camry, registration 21D, 45872. Finished in white, it's petrol automatic that's easier on town and steady on longer runs. It's done about 24,140 kilometers. It's been dealer service every 10,000 miles.
Okay, so you get the general idea. Obviously, I've sped up the voice a little bit, and that's why it sounds like that. But you get the general idea. We're able to respond to all of them emails like Alex was talking about. We're also able to go that step extra and create personalized walk around videos, which I can assure you 99.99% of dealerships are not doing. So when you pitch that to a dealership, they're most likely going to be blown away, as it's not something that's very common anywhere in the world. But yeah, I'm going to leave a link in the description to these to the make.com scenario, so you'll be able to just download it. That's going to be in my paid community. I will leave all of the prompts below for free, for completely free, so you can download that off a Google Doc. But if you want to join my community, where I teach people exactly how to make money with AI automation and how I made my money with AI automation, then just click the first link in the description where you'll be able to join the community, or you can click the second link where I just give you access to the prompts, so you can go ahead and build this yourself. But make sure, if you want to build this with the actual scenarios pre-built for you, then you're going to have to join the community. But yeah, make sure to leave a like and a comment, and let me know what you want to see next.